Namaskar, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I am Namrata Singh and you are watching Question Hour. The show focuses on important questions raised by members in both houses of Parliament concerning matters of national interest. In the Rajya Sabha, members from various parties posed questions related to 14 ministries and sought responses from the respective ministers. Similarly, in the Lok Sabha's Question Hour, members from diverse parties raised questions pertaining to 9 ministries and sought responses from the respective ministers. Now let's take a look at some of the questions whose replies were tabled.
Rajya Sabha members Dr. Parmar Jashwant Singh Salam Singh, Sunetra Ajit Pawar, Mayank Bhai Jaydev Bhai Nayak and Dhananjay Bhimrao Mahadik asked the Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports whether any measures are being taken to ensure that retired athletes, particularly those from rural and underprivileged backgrounds, are aware of and have access to the Retired Sportsman Empowerment Training, the RESET program. If so, the details thereof. Whether collaborations are being undertaken with the private sector companies, sports federations or international organizations to enhance the effectiveness of the RESET program, and if so, the details thereof. The ministry in its reply informed the House of Retired Sportsperson Empowerment Training Program, which aims at facilitating retired athletes' career development, including those from rural and underprivileged backgrounds, by providing them tailor-made education for their academic enhancement supplemented with internship, and empowering them with the necessary knowledge and skills for their transition into a suitable career option, which would also help in addressing the existing human resource gap in the sports sector. In order to raise awareness of the scheme, the ministry informed that details of the scheme have been circulated to Indian Olympic Association, recognized national sports federations, Sports Authority of India, various central government ministries, and the sports departments of state governments and union territory administrations. The House was further informed that RESET program has provisions for providing the opportunity to retired athletes to hone their skills through internships in sports organizations, sporting competitions, training camps, leagues, and the educational institutions under the ministry, guiding and supporting the retired athletes with placement assistance, guidance for entrepreneurial ventures, etc. Rajya Sabha member Sangeeta Yadav asked the Department of Space about the recent technological achievements made by the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, under space docking experiment, the SpaceX mission, the manner in which this technology would be used in Chandrayaan-4 and Gaganyaan missions in future, and the current status of India's proposed space station plan along with the time frame for its completion. The department in its reply informed the House that the SpaceX satellites were successfully launched by the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle PSLV C-60 into the intended orbit on 30th December 2024 from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. Space docking experiment mission successfully demonstrated the in-orbit docking of 2 satellites on 16 January 2025. The House was further informed that the SpaceX technology demonstration is a precursor to the major missions envisaged as part of Space Vision 2047, which includes Chandrayaan-4 sample return mission, Bharatiya Antariksh Station BAS, and Indian crewed landing on the moon. An indispensable technology in accomplishing such complex and challenging missions is the capability in the field of space docking. This is primarily because larger spacecrafts are no longer constrained by larger vehicle capability, as docking essentially allows us to assemble the spacecrafts in space. It allows for spare spacecrafts to address contingency situations which become critical for human-centric missions. The successful demonstration of in-space docking experiment is thus a forerunner for autonomous docking and crucial for India's future missions, for assembling modules of space stations for BAS, for transporting crew and supplies to these stations, and Chandrayaan-4 for bringing the samples back to Earth orbit, where the modules will dock with a re-entry module designed to withstand Earth's atmosphere. Furthermore, the House has been informed that responsibility of various ISRO centers pertaining to overall system engineering of BAS-01 and development of subsystem are identified. Center-level teams are formed for detailed engineering subsystem and details are being worked out. Development and launch of the first module, that is base module BAS-1, is targeted by 2028 and fully operational BAS with 5 modules is targeted by 2035.
Lok Sabha member Mukesh Kumar Chandrakant Dalal asked the Minister of Civil Aviation the key objectives and provisions of NCAP, including its focus on passenger traffic growth, infrastructure development and cost reduction. The steps taken by the government to establish India as a global aviation hub and promote the national air cargo policy till March 2025 under NCAP. The achievements and challenges faced in implementing NCAP since its inception in 2016 and the future initiatives proposed under NCAP to further strengthen the aviation sector and regional connectivity in the country. The ministry in its reply informed the House that National Civil Aviation Policy was launched to create an ecosystem, make flying affordable to masses, increase passenger traffic growth and to provide safe, secure, affordable and sustainable air travel. The NCAP 16 inter alia seeks to enhance regional connectivity through fiscal support and infrastructure development. The House was also informed that during the implementation phase of NCAP 2016, India's aviation sector has experienced significant growth. The share of Indian carriers in international flight operations has increased from 36% in 2019 to 47% in 2024. Prior to implementation of NCAP 16, Indian carriers had direct routes to 25 countries in 2014, which has expanded to 35 countries. Additionally, the total number of aircraft for scheduled operations has risen from 400 in 2014 to 834 as of December 31, 2024, with major airline orders indicating further expansion. By maintaining supportive policies for Indian carriers, India has paved the way to secure strategic international routes essential for the development of global aviation hubs. The ministry also informed that the UDAN scheme, envisaged in National Civil Aviation Policy 2016, provides connectivity to unserved and underserved airports of the country through revival of existing airstrips and airports. Under the scheme, 625 RCS routes connecting 88 unserved and underserved airports, including 13 heliports and 2 water aerodromes, have been operationalized so far. Total domestic passengers traveled through RCS UDAN are more than 149 lakhs, connecting 2.97 lakh RCS flights. Helicopter operations have been promoted under the UDAN scheme. Further, to create an enabling ecosystem for safe, efficient and sustainable seaplane operations across the country, revised guidelines have also been issued. The House was informed that the NCAP 2016 eventually seeks to promote regional connectivity, infrastructure development, cost-efficient functionality without compromising on safety and efficiency. Further, future tariff at all airports to be on hybrid till basis. NCAP 2016 MOCA seeks to explore ways to unlock the potential of land allocated for commercial use at airport by liberalizing end-use restrictions for existing and future greenfield and brownfield airports. NCAP 2016 provides for future concessions or development of airports to ensure a minimum level and standard of cargo facility at airport. In addition to this, under NCAP 2016, provision for adequate land for MRO service providers is required in all future airport or heliport project, depending on potential for such MRO service. The government has recently modified the UDAN scheme to increase regional connectivity to 120 new destinations and to cater to 4 crore passengers in the next 10 years. The scheme will also support helipads and smaller airports in hilly, aspirational and northeast region districts.
Lok Sabha member Daroga Prasad Saroj asked the Ministry of Food Processing Industries about the details of the impact of the Operation Green scheme launched under the Parliamentary Kisan Sampada Yojana, including the products covered and the financial assistance provided. The ministry in its reply informed the House that a central sector scheme, Operation Greens under Parliamentary Kisan Sampada Yojana, has been implemented with the objective of enhancing the value realization of farmers and minimizing post-harvest losses. Further, in the budget speech of Union Budget 2021-22, the scope of long-term strategy, that is, integrated value chain development projects and standalone post-harvest infrastructure projects under the Operation Green scheme, originally applicable to tomato, onion and potatoes, top crops, was enlarged to 22 perishable crops, which include 10 fruits, 11 vegetables and shrimp. The scheme is demand-driven in nature. The proposals under the scheme are invited through expression of interest for setting up food processing units from across India. Furthermore, the financial assistance is provided at the rate of 35% of the eligible project cost for projects in general areas and 50% for projects in difficult areas, as well as for projects involving SC, ST, FPOs and SHGs. State-wise allocation of funds is not made under any of the component schemes of PMKSY. The House was informed that under the scheme, 44 projects have been approved across the country for eligible crops in identified production clusters, with approved grants in aid of 545.11 crore rupees for total project cost of 2,102.54 crore rupees. These projects have sanctioned processing and preservation capacity of 12.64 lakh metric tons per annum.
Rajya Sabha members Haris Biran and Phulo Devi Neetam asked the Minister of Labour and Employment the progress made in implementing social security benefits for gig and platform workers under the Code on Social Security 2020. The estimated number of gig workers in the country, as well as those covered under new social security schemes as of 2025. Whether government intends to introduce specific legislation to address the rights, welfare and working conditions of gig workers, and the steps being taken to address concerns regarding job security, minimum wages and social benefits for gig workers. The ministry in its reply informed the House that for the first time, the definition of gig workers and platform workers and provisions related to the same have been provided in the Code on Social Security 2020, which has been enacted by the Parliament. The code provides for framing of suitable social security measures for gig workers and platform workers on matters relating to life and disability cover, accident insurance, health and maternity benefits, old age protection, etc. The code also provides for setting up a social security fund to finance the welfare scheme. The House was further informed that as per an estimation by Niti Aayog, via its report titled India's Booming Gig and Platform Economy, the number of gig workers and platform workers in the country was 7.7 million in 2020-21, which is expected to rise to 23.5 million by 2029-30. Recognizing the contribution of gig workers on online platforms, the government in its budget announcement made on 1st February 2025 proposed to register them on e-Shram portal, arrange for their identity cards and provide healthcare under Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana health scheme. Lok Sabha members Sudhir Gupta, Chavan Ravindra Vasantrao and Dhairashil Sambhaji Rao Mane asked the Minister of Road Transport and Highways whether the government has decided to put on hold the rollout of its ambitious plan of a satellite-based highway toll collection system. If so, the details thereof and the reasons therefore. Weather navigation with Indian constellation NAVIC, also known as Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, an Indian alternative to the American Global Positioning System that was proposed to ensure non-stop travel on the national highways and expressways and to replace toll plazas, is fully operational. If so, the details thereof, if not, the reasons therefore. And whether the government has identified any stretch on which a barrier-free toll system will be implemented as a pilot program, and if so, the details thereof. The ministry, in its reply, informed the House that the Apex Committee and high-level empowered committee consisting of experts from industry and academia, in view of security and privacy considerations and overall operational control, have recommended further deliberations for the satellite-based tolling. A series of meetings have been conducted by the expert committee, and as per deliberations, it is proposed to proceed with corridor or stretch-based projects for ANPR FASTag system-based barrier-less free-flow tolling. The House was further informed that with existing features of navigation with Indian constellation, the satellite-based tolling requires additional satellite constellations to achieve desired level of positional accuracy as well as development of appropriate receivers for receiving satellite signals. It requires further deliberations to move towards satellite-based tolling. Furthermore, request for proposal to implement barrier-free tolling system on the fee plazas of Gharonda, Chauriasi, Nemeli and Dwarka Expressway has been invited or floated with the possibility of implementing it on other fee plazas in a phased manner depending upon the outcomes and efficacy of the implementation on these projects. Well, that is all I have for you in this edition of Question Hour. Stay tuned and thank you for watching Sansad TV.